The history of cakes goes long and far, and wide and also tall. Back in 1752, Daniel Cake made the first cake out of cake ingredients, and since then, it's been a delicacy. Today I'm gonna try to live up to that legacy and make a cake of my own. I found a recipe for a chocolate cake with strawberry filling. I'm gonna attempt to make it as best as I can. The recipe that I found was all in grams, but I didn't want to measure everything out, so I just converted it all. So it's kind of rough estimates of what everything should be. It says it takes 2 hours and 25 minutes. I guess I'll hope to do it in that time. And I'm gonna get started with the strawberry jam. The recipe says it needs 2.5 cups of strawberries. Not really sure what that looks like, so I'm just gonna cut up a bunch of these and see how far I get. Okay, so this is 2.5 cups of strawberries, 1/4 cup of sugar, and some water in there. I don't know, it doesn't say how long this is gonna take, but essentially I just gotta cook it over a little bit of heat, and then it's gonna turn into jam, which is awesome. I really hope I cut these small enough, because I looked it up and it said it takes 30 to 45 minutes for this to jam-ize. But I think while that's going, because I have to wait for it to boil, which is gonna take a while, I'm gonna get started on the mixtures for the cake and get those ready. And also, when I went to Target, I could only find 9-inch cake pans instead of the recipe had 6-inch. So it said I need to double the recipe, and I really hope I have enough ingredients for that. But I'm just gonna double everything that I do. Okay, this guy's doing pretty good. Just finished all the dry ingredients. I really was not super accurate with measuring them out, but hope that goes well. And then in this bowl over here, I'm gonna get started on the wet ingredients. Okay, I only really accomplished melting the butter, but this guy's looking pretty good. I mean, it's looking pretty jammy, if I say so myself. And on the recipe, it says that that's the kind of texture to look for. It's yeah, when you part it, it'll slowly come back together after a few seconds. And I mean, that's what I'm seeing there. So I might let this cook just for a little bit more. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna call it here. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna let that cool for a little bit, and then I'll throw it in the bowl. And I'm just gonna put it in the fridge for a bit to cool down before we use it. I just put an entire cup of olive oil in this, and it felt kind of evil, but I mean, that's what it calls for. So, gotta get this guy all stirred up. Then I also realized that I should have done this in the bigger bowl and then the dry stuff in the smaller bowl, because I'm gonna have to add all the dry stuff into this. So I might need to find another bowl to transfer everything to. But once I get this mixed, then I just add in the eggs, and then I can mix everything together. Okay, I couldn't find a bigger bowl to transfer to, so I'm just gonna use this, and hopefully it's big enough for everything. All right. It's looking like cake batter. Okay, on the recipe, it says to use parchment paper rounds to put in the bottom of these. I couldn't find those anywhere, so I'm going with the alternate handy dandy canola oil spray. Alright, these guys are gonna be in for 45 minutes, and while that's happening, I'm gonna get started on this frosting. For this frosting, I needed a hand mixer, and I had one that I got from one of my roommates, and I'm really happy that I tested it out this morning because it didn't work when I tested it out, and so I did end up having to get another one, and the only one that they had at the store looked like that. But I mean, it's still there. I'm gonna crack it open and hopefully it works. All right, moment of truth. Hey, there we go. Oh my God. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Alright. Ooh. Coming together. Oh, that's coming out really clean. Okay, it technically has 2 more minutes left, so I'm gonna let that keep going, but those are pretty much done. All right, this is what it's looking like right now. Pretty good. These have to sit for 10 minutes anyways, so I'm gonna finish up this guy and then we can start assembling. All right, these guys are finally cooled down. We got our frosting. Couldn't find any piping bags, so I'm just gonna use that and cut off one of the corners. And then I'm gonna have some strawberries to cut up over here. Okay, I didn't have any cake platters, so I'm just gonna use this to put it on. But I'm gonna start with cutting up a bunch of these. I realize now that you're supposed to put strawberry jam in between the layers as well, but they told me to use all of the jam that I made for the frosting. So I'm just gonna be using this as a backup. I know it's not homemade, but everything else is, so I feel like that's fair. I'm gonna cut up strawberries and then gotta start cutting these guys up and making all the layers. Okay, so this is one of the layers. It's supposed to be a 4-layer cake because I'm supposed to cut each of these in half, but this thing is just so moist, which is honestly a good thing, but there's no way for me to get it sideways to cut it without it just crumbling apart. So I think I'm only gonna do the 2 layers for this, which I think is all right. I'm actually so impressed that I got that to land perfectly in the middle, because I kind of just flipped it over and let it fall, but I got the middle filling in there, and then now I'm just gonna frost the rest of it and then throw some more strawberries on the top of it. So it turns out I'm not too well equipped at frosting cakes, but this came together pretty well. I'm gonna clean up all this extra stuff, but this is maybe the wettest cake I've ever seen. I'm glad that the cake actually came out really moist, but then this frosting is also just very liquidy. Yeah, I would say this is very successful. So I'm gonna eat some of this, and then I'll do a little recap later. Okay, I think overall that was really successful. I had a really fun time making it. I think it turned out pretty good. I think if I did it again, I could probably be a little more exact with the ingredients and it might come out better. But I guess I didn't realize how much I missed baking because that was a really, really fun experience. And so I'm glad that I have extra ingredients from that left over so that I can keep baking more things in the future. And now that I've kind of have that out of the way, I think it'll be easier for me to get more into baking as this year goes on. So I had a lot of fun with it. I'm super happy that I did it, but that's one more bucket list item down.